Yes. Hello, welcome back. Yes, this is another tutorial session. Uh, is it tutorial session or information session? Yes, any of them. Pick your choice. Yes. So today we are just going to talk about how the dot paper extension in eNSP works. Okay. So the usually we have when you open your eNSP, we have two files. We have two different kinds of files that we normally use. The first one is the topology file. Okay, so if you hover your mouse over here, you see new topo. Okay, so that's basically what we use all the time if you want to configure a network topology, do your configuration and all your simulations, everything inside the topology. And then we also have the paper new paper project, right? The paper files are used for examining students, right? Or yes, they are basically used for exams. So the topology is when you're on your own and you want to do something. That is topology. If you are an instructor and you want to examine your students, you use the paper project. So the paper project is more or less uh, what the work that the instructor is coming to give you. The instructor will do everything himself, right? And then he will build something like a benchmark, so that or a marking scheme, right? So then your answers or your output would have to, or your commands would have to match the instructor has done. Depending, it can be your output. The instructor can decide to match your output, he can decide to match your commands, he can decide to match anything he likes. But in our case, the TSS is matching only output. He's not going to check the method. So that's okay. But then the basic idea is the paper project is used for examinations. Okay. So we are just going to investigate how it works, and then we'll see how to go about the lab work we've been given. We are also going to talk about we will see how the timer works, and we'll see how the grading is done. Okay, so I did a small paper project with yes, this set of instructions. It's just a basic topology with two routers, peer-to-peer network. All right, I mean point-to-point network. Yes, so we have router one, router two, and we are supposed to do these instructions. Okay, we just rename the routers to router one, router two. We assign IP addresses to the interfaces, and then we set authentication mode on the user interface of router one to password. That's all. So this is 20 max, router one, router two, 10 max each, and then configuring the IP addresses to 10 max each, and then adding the authentication to is 10 max. All right. The work would take 4 minutes. So after 4 minutes, you wouldn't have the option to submit to work again. I mean to do any command. Your After 4 minutes, your console will be inactive. So a dialog will pop up for you to generate your answers. Right. So that's basically it. This is the file, the paper. What's the name? Yes, paper whatever. So you just open it, double click, it will open with eNSP by default. Okay. Um yes. Once it's done opening, you see that the timer will start counting down. Once it opens, examination time is only less than 5 minutes. Please save your answer and submit it as soon as possible. Okay. Now you see the timer down here. It's counting down 4 minutes. Alright. So this is the instruction. Alright. So I'll just start my routers. Hopefully we can work within the 4 minutes. It's 30 seconds is past. Now my routers are not switching on. Let's let's hope we can do the work in 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, router one is on, router two is on. Left with them left with initialization so that the interfaces too will come on. 1 minute is passed. Okay, so you can display the instruction here if you want. Right, you can see the instructions. This. Okay, my interfaces are still not up. They are all red. Okay. Okay, so now we have 2 minutes 30 seconds. Okay. Alright. The device is running. Authentication. Okay. Now router 2 device is running. Okay. Now all our interfaces are up. Really? 717. Okay. I don't know why it's asking me for authentication. Probably it was a trial work I did. So then yes. What we have to do is first rename them. So we go to the system view, sysname R1. Okay. This tutorial is not focusing on commands, so I'll just be rushing through the commands. Forgive me if I don't explain. Sysname router 2. Okay. Then we assign IP addresses to the interfaces. So go J000. We go IP add 192.168.0.1/24. We do the same thing for router 2 and G000 IP address 192.168.0.2/24. Okay. Then we go back to the system view in router 1. We go to the user interface console, first console 0. Then we do authentication mode, password. Okay, so I'll just set a dummy password using my index number. Okay. So let's return to the user interface, log out and try logging in. You'll be asked to enter the password. Now you are in. So you see the count down is still there. Sorry, I didn't save. Save, yes. Router 2. Save. Yes, I want to save. Okay. This one is done saving. This one is also done saving. So if you are before time, you can go to menu, exam, submit. Okay, you'll be asked to enter an examinee ID. The examinee ID is the file name. Okay, all right. So you enter probably your index number or anything the TA asked you to save with. This when you do it before time, and then if unfortunately you are not able to work within the time, we know 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so that's it. You can't go back to the topology and change anything. If you decide to click exit exam, right, you won't get the option to generate the answer. Okay, but if you want to generate your answer submit, you just enter your examinee ID. I'll just do my index number. Okay, and then the path, I'll just save it to my desktop. Okay, then you generate answer. Yes, it's when it's done generating the answer, we will get a prompt on the screen that answers have been generated. Okay, so let me open my desktop. Okay, this is my desktop. Yes, now it's removing device. Interesting language, interesting grammar. Now it's removing device. Yes, succeed in generating answer. Interesting Chinese English. Yeah, so that's basically what it's about. A few things I wanted to mention. This is how the timer works. Okay, the timer works in such a way that if you save your topology, right, it saves the timer state as well. So let's say you start the work maybe 5 or 2 minutes into the time you want to go and do something and come back. You just save your topology with probably Control S. Okay, and then you close eNSP. The next time you open that .paper file, it will continue from the 2 minutes where you left off. Okay, so that's how it works in that case. And then another scenario is you open the file fresh. The counter starts from 4 minutes. Then you work, and then probably your laptop goes off. Then you didn't get the option to save. The next time you open the file, okay, the timer will restart from 4 minutes, and all your configurations are did. If you didn't save them, Sikanash. Yes. And then yes, so that's basically also another thing I realized was, if you have the .paper file, this one .paper file, if I hadn't saved it and I copied it somewhere else and then I renamed it, okay, and then I worked with them, probably let's say I'll copy it into a new folder. Let me create a new folder here. Probably I'll just create a copy here, and then I work with this one. Okay, if I decide to work with this one, I'm not going to open it. I decide to work with this one and I save. Probably the time has elapsed. That's okay. But then if I open the one in this file, if I hadn't opened it before and hadn't saved anything inside, if I should open it, the time will start from 4 minutes. Okay, so that's basically how the timer works. I don't know if the explanation was better or it was confusing, but what I'm trying to say is, if you want to be on the safer side, just copy the lab exam.paper, make a copy of that file somewhere else before you open you open it in eNSP, so that you will have the opportunity to revisit your work if in case something should happen and then you are not able to complete, or you make a mistake somewhere that you would have to restart. Yes, you would have a copy of that. But I think 5 hours should be enough for the work. Yes, so yes, now let's see how the answers will be generated. You go to eNSP, right? Well, this is what the TA will do. We will add this one, this paper, the .ans, right? That's the .ans, that's the answer file. And then this one, okay, with your address plan and the one you will solve, then you zip it and send it to the TA. So what the TA will do is, when he opens the eNSP, he goes to menu exams and then check. They will ask for model answer file path. The model answer file path is the answer file that the TA generated from his work, right? So it will be graded according to the model that he has. So I'll point to the file with the model I did. Okay, so that's the model file. So this one has the answers of the initial configuration of the exam file. Okay, that I did. And then the student answer save path. So that one is what I kept on my desktop. Interestingly, you won't see it, but then if you select the desktop, it will match your answer. How do you call it? The answer file in that folder. So in the desktop folder, it will match the answer file. And then since we have only one answer file, we are good to go. Okay. Then you go to the TA will click check. Paper check finished. Do you want to review now? Yes, I want to review. This is basically how we will be scored. So the score is, say, 50. So the total score is 50, and then we did everything right, so 50. If we in case forgot, probably if we forgot to change the name to, let's say, router 2, we forgot to change it to R2 and we left it as Huawei, this place would have been red. This particular box would have been red, and then our marks would have been 0 here. So then our total marks will be 40 over 50. Yes, so basically this is how the grading is about, and this is a general idea, or an idea of how the paper extension works in the eNSP, and then how it's used to assess students. Yeah, so this was supposed to be a short one, but it's quite long. We will meet in another tutorial sometime. Yes, we'll meet in another tutorial sometime very soon. See you.